And second of all, I think that it's really helpful to use the phrase that you talk about in the Equip for Life course, this is what I mean and this is what I don't mean.
Yep.
And we practice that a lot in our practice dialogues because especially when we're using trot at a toddler specifically, it can be really hard to say it in a way that doesn't come across poorly.
Like they're an idiot
like
or something
they're an
like that.
idiot
Yeah.
or that you hate women, you think women are
Right.
bad and would do some of the bad things that we like use as examples in a trot at a toddler, like killing their toddler, right? Like, so there's multiple ways you could go wrong in being clear about this is a thought experiment. This is the purpose of my thought experiment.
Yeah.
This is what my thought experiment is supposed to show. I don't think you're stupid.
Right.
Like all those things
I
need
don't
to happen.
think that women who have abortions are like women who kill toddlers. There's
Right.
really different and important ways. Here's what I'm trying to say. Yeah.
Exactly. So we found that using a lot of this is what I mean, this is what I don't mean was really helpful along with just doing practice. I think I've said that like 500 times on this podcast.
Yeah. You
The
get
importance
it yet?
of practicing and having other people listen to you for clarity.
Yeah.
That's something we focus on a lot, specifically with Joshua and I, critiquing each other. How can you be more clear with this? How can you say this in less words?
Yeah.
How can you get to the point and then ask them what they think and not go around 600 rabbit holes before you ask them what they think?
Yeah, I know I've talked about this before, but it's just worth I'll try to do like a short review. But trot at a toddler especially is the kind of thing where I think pro-choice people can easily be confused about what the pro-life person is saying. So like a few of the like kind of additions to the toddler training that we've done that we've kind of added since we started have been, so like, for example, I try to avoid having pro-life people ask the person if they think it would be okay to kill the toddler in this circumstance in like an inquisitive way. Like, do you think it would be okay to kill a toddler to solve poverty? Like,
do you think I'm stupid?
Right.
Like,
or
what?
like this horrible person.
Right.
Like, of course they don't think you can kill the toddler in this. So instead, do it in kind of a, okay, I'm sure we agree we can't kill toddlers for that reason, right? Like, okay, cool. Like, because otherwise it just comes across as like, I wonder, how horrible are you? Like, you know, like, are you like, would you be willing to concede that we shouldn't kill a toddler in that particular situation? Like, it can just come across bad.
Right.
I think the more subtle way that it can come across wrong, and Tim has told the story before about having a really important conversation with one of our cousins who's both an intellectual and pro-choice. I'm pretty sure he would label himself as pro-choice. And he had this really interesting reaction to hearing Trot at the Toddler done, where I think this happens subconsciously for pro-choice people a lot. I think in particular, my cousin was smart enough and quick enough on his feet to be able to figure out why he was bothered and explain it well. And it was so helpful for Tim and then the rest of us to hear. It sounds like we're saying that women who have abortions, post-abortive women, are just like women who would like drown their toddler in a bathtub out of like anger or something like that. Like, that's not what we mean, because you should think the moral culpability is more complicated than that. It's not purely, you know, every time someone is killed, the exact same kind of wrong thing has been done, or there's an equal amount of culpability on the person. Like, culpability is really complicated. We talk about this in the self-defense, the refuting the self-defense abortion thing too, where it's like you could have someone go crazy and kill their toddler, okay? They are less culpable. Still, a toddler was killed. Still an equally valuable human being. A toddler was killed. But how culpable is the person if they're crazy, if they've been coerced into it, if there's an accomplice? Is it like a premeditated thing or not? Like, all these things are things that like judges and juries consider when they're trying to figure out how culpable someone is. And I don't think that a lot of women having abortions are nearly as culpable for killing their child as like if a woman in her, you know, like fully cognizant, you know, place just got really upset and like drowned her toddler or something like that. Like, I think a lot of women having abortions don't really know this is a baby. I know a lot of pro-life people don't buy that. I've heard so many pro-life people like, every woman knows this is a baby. Yeah, maybe at some point, but I don't think a lot of in the like early first trimester, especially if they've grown up being told by everyone in their life, including maybe their church, that this is not really a baby. And I don't think they're trying to kill anything. I think they're trying to become like unpregnant. They're trying to get out of a crisis. Does it make it okay? No. Should it be legal? No. But it's still different than the mother who literally drowns her toddler in a bathtub. And I feel like pro-life people need to kind of explain that. You need to kind of say, I'm not saying this is what post-abortive women are like. Just like we do in the, the fishing at the lake thing, when people are like, how can you as a man talk about this? Like we've got this whole story about a woman pushing her car into the lake. Always say, this is not what I'm saying all pro-choice people are like, or women who have abortions. That's not the point. The point is this other thing. And so, yeah, I think pro-life people need to be more aware of the ways that they can be misunderstood. It's not necessarily the pro-life person's doing a bad job communicating. Maybe they could do a better job communicating it. But also, this is like really easy way for well-intentioned people to misunderstand each other, and using techniques like here's what I'm not saying, here's what I'm saying are really helpful ways to kind of like get rid of the potential straw man, like the future straw man, like before they happen. Let's just like deal with that before that even becomes a thing. And we can keep focusing on the important parts of the conversation.
Right.